Hello and welcome everyone to another enthusiastic enthusiast / auto gallery listing. This is probably going to be 190 for us, so very exciting and really exciting car, the 2023 Corvette C8. It is a 1LT specification with some really nice choice factory options, and I think this spec is just stunning. It's a white over actually a two-tone black and red leather interior, black wheels, which I normally don't like, but on this car just look stunning. You get the forged Corvette wheels, you get red calipers, and this car options-wise, I'm probably gonna miss a few, but it does have the performance exhaust. It does have the optional little spoiler here. It does also have some 70th anniversary nods. We've pretty much determined that it's not a 70th anniversary, but I'm not 100% sure about that because it does have the glass here. So the rear panel is a 70th anniversary panel, and then also on the speaker cover, which we'll get to on the inside for the interior portion of the video, it also has a 70th anniversary badge on it. Now I know that there's typically supposed to be badging on the exterior of the car as well, like either in the rear quarter or the front quarter, but other than that, it does actually present it's interesting, and I'm sure the experts on C8s will know definitively. We're again just representing it. Some windy out today, so we've had some debris. But yeah, some may, we're pretty sure it's not a 70th, again, because it's missing a couple things. But it is spec'd in a 70th spec. It's the white over red. It does have the glass, and it does have the speaker badging. But anyways, regardless of 70th anniversary or not, it's a really nice car. These LT1s are just so much fun. I think the C8s are such a cool package. You know, obviously Chevrolet realizing that they've got to come into the modern era and make a mid-engine car. I love front-engine Corvettes as well, but the C8 definitely feels like a surgeon's scalpel compared to, you know, a jackhammer or, you know, a big bruteful machine such as the original or earlier front-engin Corvettes are. Definitely a totally different dynamic and a very modern feeling car. It's very comfortable, it's really easy to drive, really just a huge fan of these. So without further ado, obviously this car is now live on Bring a Trailer, but we do these videos to basically demonstrate to you all the exact condition of the car as we see it. I know a lot of sellers oftentimes do like 3 to 4 minute auction videos. Ours are more like 30 to 40 minutes, even out here in the cold, snowy north. We do it for you guys, and so what we'll do is a full walk around of the exterior, get an idea of the cosmetic condition of the exterior. Then we do the interior, both the frunk and the trunk and the engine compartment. Then we do a cold start, and we'll do about a 10 to 20 minute drive as well. Just give you guys as clear of a picture as we can physically give. Obviously some of you may be interested or bidding or watching from across the country or even across the world in some cases that we've seen in previous listings, and we just want to really give you confidence in what it is that you are actually bidding on. Absolutely. So we'll start up front, up at the nose. Just look for any cosmetic flaws. This car is really well kept. They're actually, I don't think we'll really find many or any, but nice like piano black grille area in really good shape, not seeing any degradation, no scraping down below, like all the edges, the leading edge is very smooth. Usually you start to see it get torn up a little bit. You get your blacked out Corvette badging and a very angular front end on this car. I love it. It's super handsome. Again, it's just been a little dusty out today. So we've got some debris, but as you can see, the paint is just fantastic. It's so, so good. Tiny, tiny little rock chip here. That's like literally it, that and that. But otherwise, really, really nice. Now for the front driver corner, great condition as far as the headlight on this driver's side, crystal clear. Down below, again, a lot of angularity here. I think it looks fantastic. Again, in just perfect shape. Not seeing any problems there. Now for the kind of outer edge of the driver front bumper, just a tiny little abrasion there, like really minuscule. It might not even show up on camera, but again, in really, really nice shape. A tiny little hood here, honestly, but again, on the driver's side, fantastic shape. Same with the driver front quarter, really no flaws and a lot of really sharp edges on this car. Down below, front driver wheel, you've got Pilot Sport all seasons, and as far as date codes go, these are 2023s, so about 3 years old, 3 years old. The tread is definitely solid. Your rotors hardly look used. Calipers are in great shape, and there is zero flaws as far as the wheel and the finish of it and all that stuff. No curbing or anything like that. Center caps obviously blacked out, matching the badging on the front. So now we come up to the windshield, which again is also just in fantastic shape. Your A-pillars look great, and actually pretty solid visibility out of this car. Nice narrow little windshield frame up top where it meets your optional transparent removable glass roof, which is really, really cool. Mirrors are also in great shape, the mirror caps, and behind the driver front wheel, again, this little thin section of the quarter panel looks fantastic. The door is just in such nice shape, just a little bit of dust there. The door looks fantastic, really, really good. Same with these side skirts down below. Again, just a little bit of debris there, but really, really, really good. I love these really aggressive looking intakes, and obviously your secret door release is under the kind of leading edge of the intake, so to speak. Windows look fantastic. They are crystal clear. Same with the actual glass top here. Really, really nice, and that is such a great option. Little, I guess, Targa support bar here, one may call that, for lack of a better term, but you get these kind of faux quarter windows, which I think are cool. They kind of angle off that window. It shouldn't stop on a vertical line. I like how it kind of tapers off and gives that effect. And then down below, towards the intake, all your leading edges are nice and clear. No one's, been sucking up rocks or driving on dirt roads. Fuel door, all that stuff. The part of the front quarter of the driver's side is in really, really nice shape. And again, no paint degradation here, which is actually a really common area because this car is staggered. Even down below where you'd typically see paint degradation, there is nothing. Really, really good. Now for the engine cover slash deck lid, big, huge panel here. I like that it's ventilated. I like that you get this really nice looking glass with more ventilation. I think the styling of the rear end of the car is fantastic and no paint flaws that I'm seeing. Big, long quarter panels in the rear, which are in great shape. Not seeing any paint flaws or anything like that. Rear driver wheel and tire, starting with the wheel, such nice shape. I mean, really, really good. No curbing, nothing like that. Rotors look good. Your caliper is in great shape, and you have a ton of pad life left as well. Looking for date codes on these, we've got 0123, so same as the driver front. Plenty of tread left. They're not dried out or anything like that. I think you could definitely use these for a season or two more if you choose to, especially if you're not going to daily drive. Now for the, I guess the bumper sort of protrudes out almost to the rear quarter, but looks great. You're in really good shape here. The paint's all smooth, just a little bit dusty, but really, really overall quite solid. Really, really solid. Sorry, yeah, we just have a little bit of dust on there. We shot part of the driving video, but even with some dust on the quarter there, it's perfect, presents so well. I loved how intricate the taillights are. You have like a lot of nooks and crannies. They're almost like hollow seeming. Really, really cool. And obviously some rear ventilation here. And this car is optioned with the performance exhaust. So it's a quad tipped dual exit exhaust. Really, really cool. And you also get this little diffuser setup down below, which I think is a great styling cue of the C8. No flaws as far as cosmetics or anything like that. It really, really presents perfectly. You also get your Corvette badging here, along with, as I mentioned, the optional spoiler. You also get the little Stingray badge here, which I think this car looks very much like a Stingray. Super, super cool. Plate holder area, your backup camera, all that stuff. And now we've made it to the passenger side of the rear, which again is just in perfect shape. There really aren't, I haven't seen any paint flaws yet other than that tiny little millimeter rock chip on the front of the car. Really, it just presents so well. And for 12 or 13,000 miles, it's clear that it's been cared for excruciatingly well. It's obviously been cherished. So no flaws in the rear. Obviously your quad tip exhaust there, these lovely intricate little headlights in the rear, and your spoiler all in fantastic shape. Same with the passenger side of the engine cover and deck lid area. Your glass is crystal clear. Your vents look great. All of the work on the front is in really nice shape. Again, really intricate looking engine cover there. Very, you know, 2010s kind of German supercar look between the Audi R8 and the Lamborghini Gallardo and Murcielago. They definitely took a page out of the Europeans book here and honestly did it really, really well. So then we come down below. Again, the passenger side of the bumper as it wraps around in really nice shape. You even have your plastic kind of fender liners here, which are basically really just look like they haven't seen any debris for that matter. Definitely impressive. Again, the Michelin Pilot Sport all seasons. Wheels are in fantastic shape. Calipers in fantastic shape. Plenty of pad life. And the rotor looks unused. There's no corrosion anywhere. Absolutely love to see that. Again, the 0123 date codes, so 3 out of 4 tires that we've looked at so far are all the same date code. They may be the original tires, hard to say. But yeah, over here, in really nice shape as well for the passenger rear quarter. And again, the panels on this car are interesting because like the rear quarter ends here and then technically this is the bumper and it's a 2-piece once you get down below. But yeah, really, really, really nice. Again, with the faux quarter windows and the front section of the quarter panel, just everything looks so, so, so good. Just a little bit more road debris there. But again, even the staggered section of the quarter panel is in fantastic and flawless shape. Your intake leading edges also really, really good with that hidden little door release there. I think that's such a cool detail. Super, super nice. And again, the intake edge itself, really, really nice shape. You kind of have a metallic gloss black contrasted intake runner there, which looks fantastic. The glass on the passenger side looks amazing. Again, no flaws there. Same with the removable Targa top, which is translucent, transparent. Really, really cool feature there. Your mirror looks great on the passenger side. And then, of course, the passenger door, I am seeing 0 flaws. Looks absolutely stunning. And just this angle of the rear of the car looks so good. The way that the midsection blends in to that very aggressive kind of raked rear end. I love the styling on these. Your side skirts are in fantastic shape. The front of the passenger door, just perfect. A-pillars in amazing shape. Same with your windshield on the passenger side. Again, not a single flaw that I've spotted other than, if you guys remember, this tiny little rock chip up front, which is crazy. Again, it's a 13 or 12,000 mile car. Front quarter also just in perfect shape, and your wheels and tires, again with the Michelin's 0123, so all 4 tires matching, are in really good shape. Again, even though they are 3 years old, they don't show any signs really of even much wear. Definitely in very solid shape. Your wheel, front passenger wheel, which is always the one that gets curbed the most. 0 curbing on this one, so obviously driven with care. Rotors are in fantastic shape. Pads have plenty of life left, and your caliper is perfectly brilliant red without any stains or paint missing or anything like that. So obviously, again, this car was driven very carefully. Passenger side of the hood also in just perfect shape, other than, again, when I said this little rock chip here. That is the only paint flaw that I've noticed on the car, which is fantastic. Passenger side headlight, crystal clear, in perfect shape. Same with the kind of corner of the front bumper on the passenger side. Not seeing any flaws. Touching here, nice and smooth. Again, it's not ripped up or anything like that from, scraping. Really, really good. Piano black grille / intake area also looking fantastic. So yeah, cosmetically, the condition of this car on the exterior is just stunning. It's really, really impressive. So now we'll head around to the interior. And now for the interior, which again is also just in stunning condition. Really, really nice. Door cards, fantastic. Zero signs of use or wear. Same with the door jambs. Looks like a little bit of paint touch-up, just applied in a couple little spots there, but otherwise just so good. Hardly even any creasing in the leather, and you usually start to see the bolsters crease pretty aggressively. Just a tiny little crease there, but otherwise they look absolutely factory fresh. Your floor mats are in great shape. Your dash on the driver's side looks great. Your digital gauges, all that stuff, and the steering wheel also just looks completely unworn. Really, really, really impressive. The center console and kind of transmission tunnel area also in fantastic shape. We've also got some extra goodies on the passenger seat that we'll show you. This is what I was talking about as far as the 70th anniversary badging, so it's also on the speaker cover there. So again, kind of a bit of a doozy, but anyways, we'll open the frunk and the trunk here. Go counterclockwise around. So here is your engine bay / trunk area. You stow the top here, the glass top right here, and it fits right in. You also get red valve covers and a red engine cover, which really, really complements the red interior and the red calipers really, really well. You can also see that some components on the performance exhaust there. Definitely a nice piece of kit. And I just love the exposed engine. Most mid-engine cars, especially in the modern era, don't have an exposed engine. They're covered under panels and whatnot. You can also see that even though it's interesting because it's like a lot of people use indoor outdoor to describe like styles of homes or living areas, but in a lot of ways this is like an indoor outdoor engine because it is under the engine cover, and you would think it's right behind your head, but you are actually fully closed in the cockpit because you are separated by that, I believe, glass that is not removable. So that is a permanent fixture giving you that sort of indoor outdoor feel. Excuse me if that sounds silly, but that's kind of how I think of it. And it's soft close, so always a nice feature. You don't have to slam anything. Passenger side is much the same, really just in perfect shape. Again, the car hardly looks used. Your door card shows zero wear. Your kick plates also show zero wear. Again, just ever so slightly untangle this seat belt. Ever so slight creasing, like really the only crease is just right there, but the seat is just in such fantastic shape. You also have your wheel locks here still with sticker on them, and a gasoline filler adapter that came with the car new. I'm just going to put those here on the floor, but as you can see, your floor mats, everything, I mean, all the leather, all the trim, it's all just in such nice shape. It really is. It presents so well. Also have our glove box here with the owner's manual and obviously a registration, all that stuff. So we've got the owner's manual here along with some Mobil 1 stickers, all that good stuff, Corvette ownership documents, all that good stuff, everything you want to see. Unfortunately, I don't think we have a window sticker for the car, but one could probably acquire one through the Maroney label system, and we may be able to do that as well. Again, seeing the lovely translucency of that glass removable top, really, really cool feature there. And again, here's that Corvette 70th speaker cover there. That may just be an easy part to swap out. We actually did an Elkhart Lake Blue it might have been a 2019 or it was a 2021 C8, and the speaker cover had a dent in it, so I ended up removing it. It was very easy to do. So it's possible that someone just purchased a 70th anniversary speaker cover and put it there. Again, I'll leave that distinction up to the experts. And again, your frunk area also just in great, great, great shape. And you do get a pretty deep frunk area here as well. Nice solid room for storage between the front and the rear, and obviously the passenger compartment. So yeah, really pleased. So this is not soft close. That is more like a Porsche where you got to click it closed. And yeah, so that'll do it for the condition of the exterior, the interior. Now we'll do a cold start and we'll hit the road. Alrighty, in the cold north here, it's about 25, 30 degrees out. Nice cold pipes here. And normally I'd get inside the car, but not today because we've got remote start. So double click the center button on the key and really cool. Really, really cool. Just fantastic sounding startup sequence. I think that performance exhaust makes a big, big difference. And yeah, I can see my breath. She can see hers. It is real cold out. So don't worry, it's not smoke, it's condensation. And now we'll let her warm up for a minute or two and go for a drive. All right, so we hit the remote start. The key is now in the cup holder there. So what you do after hitting remote starts, you actually still have to hit the start stop button, and then it'll allow you to put the car in drive and all that stuff. But newer car, we'll still do a features test, starting with my driver's side mirror, adjustable and working as it should. Go to the passenger side here, also working as it should, no problems there. Both windows, one-touch windows, which I love, really easy feature to use. Also got your hazards all the way up top. Got your OnStar system, all that stuff. And then the latches for the top are here and here if you want to remove that. What else do we have? So push button door release, and you also do have a manual release down below. We've also got power locks, which are functioning on the turn stalks. Left blinker, right blinker, and lights, which confirm that they are working. All your gauges displaying the correct temperatures. Been sitting here for like 1 or 2 minutes, and our oil and coolant temps are coming up nicely. We're sitting at 13,114 miles. You got all this cool stuff, a lot of adjustability, and also maintenance. There you go. Oil and fluid life. Engine oil at 52%, trans fluid, trans filter, and I know that the DCT filter on these cars is pretty important. Nice. There you go. Look at that. That's cool. What else do we have? We have audio. We have performance. So that's cool. Lap timers, accelerometer that tells you your G-force, trip computer, bunch of trips here. I am gonna leave it on the G-force meter because that is fun. What else do we have? You also have your sport displays, like you hit the Z button and that will put you in Z mode, which is like a configurable little setting, but you also have tour mode and all that good stuff. I can also use this to select my driving modes. So this is like a little knob down here that I'll use to select my driving modes. We'll put it in sport for now. You can also turn traction control off. This is a touch screen, by the way. So got Apple CarPlay, got all that good stuff. And then you can customize a ton of stuff, your interior lighting, valet mode, really, really, really cool. Absolutely a huge fan of that. Go to home, Apple CarPlay. I haven't connected before, but I can assure you that the system works. We've also got no heated seats, but we'll test the fans. So we'll go full heat here at high, and it kicks on quite quickly as well. And tiny little kind of incognito vents here as well. Yeah, that works extremely well. Gotta love that. I'm gonna turn it down, turn the whole system off. What else do we have? Center console here with additional connectivity. And actually, this is quite cool. This is a wireless charger. So you don't have to plug your phone into anything. You just stick it in the slot and it goes. Another cool thing about the C8 is obviously the shift mechanism, or the gear selector, is interesting for sure. It is basic. It's very similar to like the early 2000s Ferrari gear selection. I'm just gonna try to get out of here without hitting nothing. Brakes are very sensitive also on the C8s, notoriously sensitive. We'll do this without getting stuck in the snow either. Come back a little more. Pretty good turning circle, though, I gotta say. Definitely a solid turning circle. And really nice and light steering at slow speed. So also I'm going to adjust my wheel. So here's up adjustment, down adjustment, out. Well, I'm all the way out. Here's in. We'll also do the wipers quick. There's your wipers, working as they should. And now we can hit the road. So we're in sport. Oil temp is looking good. Coolant temp coming up nicely. And I like how it shifts itself in sport mode. It's pretty intuitive. I also love the visibility. Like you don't see the hood really. It just feels like you've just got road ahead of you. Obviously, a pretty short front end on this car, and a pretty long rear end, at least in terms of the perception of the driver, right? Like, to me, in the cockpit, the rear feels a lot longer than the front of the car, just because you're sitting, I would say, a lot closer to the front leading edge than you are to the end of the rear bumper, so to speak. But yeah, when you want it to drive in a civilized manner, it does that very well. And then when you want to kind of get on it, it also does that very well. I do want to just let oil and coolant temp come up ever so slightly before, we really open it up. But until then, obviously we've got the microphone on the exterior of the car over the exhaust. I'm also getting an ice possible warning, drive with care, because it is really cold out today. So we're just going to do everything we can to be careful. And the roads are nice and dry, thankfully. But yeah, it's so currently we've got the dual microphone set up. So it's very quiet in the cabin, but it will sound a little louder just because, again, there is one microphone, as you saw from the cold start, mounted on the license plate on the exterior of the car to give you guys the full effect of the exhaust. So we'll give it a little acceleration here to 3,000 RPM. Very smooth feeling car. These C8s really are confidence inspiring. You can quickly get yourself into trouble because they're so smooth that high speed doesn't feel so fast. It's really impressive. Really, really impressive. So we'll play with the paddles a little bit as well. I can hit M and switch it into manual mode. So there's 5th gear, 4th gear, 3rd gear. Back up to 4th, 5th. Really nice. Oh, and it's just a dream through the corners. Really responsive. I'm gonna put the windshield defroster on. So we're in 5th, drop to 4th. Really nice. Shifts super, super, super smoothly, even under load. And gosh, I just love the way this car feels through the corners. And it's cold out today. Obviously our grip, we do have all seasons on, but the grip is going to be significantly reduced. Getting on the brakes, coming into the corner, turns right in. Very little steering angle required. Really nice. Really, really nice. Plenty of power. I love the feeling of the paddle shifters. They're nice metal paddles. They're nice and long too. Absolutely so planted and predictable through the corners. Really, really impressive. Not every sports car is confidence inspiring. I use that term sometimes, but this one is definitely a poster child for that phrase. It is very confidence inspiring. it just feels like it will outperform you as the driver before you ask too much of it, which is always a great feeling to have. A little bit of moisture on the road here, so we're just being careful. And you get all that low-end torque. Like I was, just accelerating in 5th gear below 3,000 RPM, like here, 2,800, hitting the gas. A lot of low-end run. And then if you really want to ring it out, obviously you bring the paddles into play, and it'll downshift you no problem. There's 4,000 RPM. And the red line is really 7,000 or 6,500. But it gets into the yellow and then the orange zone. Yellow starts at 5,500 and orange starts at 6,000. So I'd want to be cautious. I wouldn't want to take it to. It kind of asks you to be cautious, which is nice. I wouldn't want to take it all the way up to 65, even though you can. It's nice and quiet, so I'll just do a U-turn here. Lovely little town of Cornwall. Let's see, the turning radius is pretty good. Not the best I've seen. We're gonna have to do a K-turn, but perfectly fine. We're definitely up to temp now. Oil temp, 162. Coolant temp 171. We'll do a little second here. Nice. Really good. Really good. A little bit of traction control there. Again, it's very important to not overestimate your grip in cold and slightly moist conditions. So we're just taking it real easy here in terms of cornering speeds, but this car can go very fast in the corners as well as a straight line, which is just so much fun. So much fun. United States, really, this is a great way to stick it to those Europeans across the pond. Got some traffic here, so let's try touring. So this is my mode. Weather, look at that, really calms you down. That's interesting. Weather really puts you at 0. What other modes do we have? We have my mode. Tour is basically your comfort mode, I would say. You get a little bit of power in the engine and the engine sound. So it's interesting how they kind of rate their modes. It's like aggressiveness across 4 categories. And then, of course, you have sport mode. And then, most of all, you have track mode, which is going to be your most aggressive mode. I think it kind of reduces the intervention of traction control to a certain degree. And obviously it's oriented towards track driving or closed circuit driving. But yeah, really nice in touring mode. Nice light steering, and again, it's a really comfortable car. I would have no problem doing like a pretty long road trip in this, and I want to see actually how much legroom I can give myself. Wow. So I am 6'1", the driver. Look, I mean, it's funny because I daily drive a Mercedes SLK, which is the smaller sports coupe. It's an AMG version, and I love the car, but the one thing I've noticed pretty much across any coupe, any 2-seater, roadster, coupe, what have you, convertible, is that you never really get as much legroom as you'd like. Like even in Mercedes flagship car like the SL 500 or 600, it leaves you wanting just a little bit more legroom. But I am almost fully extended here. This is actually, again, on a long road trip, I'd probably drive like this, but this is a lot further back than I would normally sit in my convertible, and it's pretty much full extension of the arms here, but quite nice. Like if you want a relaxed seating position, This is fantastic. I am so comfortable. So it's one of those rare cars, not rare, I mean there's many brands and specific models that do this really well, I will say. But as far as being both a Grand Tourer and a quite potent sports car, this car does it fantastically, honestly, without flaw. Like, I am extremely comfortable right now, and we've done some fantastic sort of GT cars in the past 365 days, like W12 Bentley Continental. We've done an Aston Martin Vanquish, which is obviously like basically the cream of the crop in terms of GT cars. We've done a lot of cool GT type cars, Mercedes AMG GT. Honestly, this goes toe to toe with all of those at close to half the price, for definitely not half the performance or half the grand touring capability. I would say this car is as good, maybe slightly, like I would prefer the AMG GT or, you know, an Aston Martin Vanquish or what have you, but for the price, this is a hands down winner when you factor in the cost. I'd say this car on average will cost you, you know, same used car market, similar mileage, about 60% of what an AMG GT would cost you, of what an Aston Martin Vanquish, it's more like 50% of what an Aston Martin Vanquish would cost you. It's pretty much on par with a Bentley Continental, you know, a nicely spec'd, low mileage W12. Obviously, you can get a V8 a lot cheaper, but this is also a newer car. It does everything super well. The connectivity is great. It's got a lot of driver aids, and you know, you're not making the compromises that you make on like an older GT car. And when I say older, I'm only talking, you know, a decade old. A 2012 Bentley Continental GT W12 will cost you $55,000-$60,000, basically exactly what this car would cost. But you're compromising there. You're getting more than a decade old car, getting a decade and a half old car. So I would definitely, you know, in that price range and in that category, the only thing I don't love is there's a little bit of a blind spot. You have to, you know, lean and well, to be fair, I'm sitting far back in the car again, but a little bit of a blind spot, but hardly. Nice. Yeah, really just fantastic. I think as an all-rounder, as an all-American hero, this is just so good. This is so good. I know people kind of, the C8 is a polarizing car to many folks, but in my opinion, you know, we interact with all sorts of different makes, models, and eras of cars, so I kind of get to put together a nice petri dish of opinions that's a nice, you know, eclectic mixture of offerings that we get to sample. And the C8 ranks very, very highly for me because of multiple factors. I think it's extremely well priced. You get fantastic value for money in these. Again, very exotic looking car, exotic feeling car, but then you get to, you know, as an American, take pride in something that was developed by General Motors and Chevrolet. I think there's so much, and of course you get to kind of buy into that Corvette history, which I think there's a lot to be said for that. People, you know, of course, just absolutely love the Porsche brand because of their racing pedigree and all the historical prowess that they have, the brand cachet that Porsche, you know, has. But the Corvette is big time. I mean, the history behind Corvette between Le Mans and all of, you know, the endurance racing, they have a lot of fantastic history and domestic racing as well. I mean, you could just go on and on and on as far as a deep dive on the Corvette brand cachet and history. But I won't go on and on and on because this video is probably getting up in length now. I just wanted to wrap it up here, say that this is such a fantastic car. I think that covers everything, but if there's something additional you'd like to see, please do just let us know, and we're happy to do a follow-up video or comment or photo, whatever it is you'd like to see. And I thank you all so much for tuning in, watching our video, supporting our listings. I hope you've all enjoyed, and big thanks for doing so and for watching. Any comments, questions, concerns, please reach out to us either on the listing or hit the contact seller button, or you can find us online at autogallery.us if you put us into Google. So just an honor to be presenting this car on behalf of the owner. It's a thrill to drive, and it's just a total blast, a total all-around perfectionist in my opinion, and someone will be very lucky to be the winner of this offering and auction. So thanks again, and cheers. Have a lovely day or evening, everyone.